Trinity B1, the GESE English exam, grade 5. Today I want to talk about my topic using the example, my job. Trinity gives us some example videos. So today I would like to review one of these videos. We'll look at the questions the examiner asks the student. I have some ideas of how the student could make the topic form better. And then number 4, we will look at a topic form and some example subtopics you can choose for my job. Let's go. The video that I'm looking at is this one. And the student's name is Abulaji. And his my topic is my job. So let's look at his topic form first. The examiner, Stephen asks, "What is your topic, please?" My topic is my current job. What are your 5 subtopic points, please? I started back in 2018. I really like my job so much. Number 3, benefits of my job. 4th, tasks I do in my job. And last, my future plans. So what does the examiner ask? Where does this start? If you choose a topic form like this, and you choose my current job as your topic, the first question will normally be, what is your job? And that is the first question. Stephen asks, what is your job? And Abulaji explains something like, I am a rehabilitation support worker. I work in the community to support people who have been discharged from hospital. I give you this example because he memorized this, but it sounds natural. He's said it enough times, it sounds normal for him. When you use my current job, and the first question is, what is your job? Make it a longer sentence like this. Don't just say, I am a support worker. I am a nurse. I am a cleaner. Make it a longer one. I am a cleaner. I work at the university. I am a cleaner. I work at the hospital. I am a nurse. I work in the pediatrics department. I work at a school. I teach young children. Something that's maybe 2 sentences. Stephen asks Abulaji a present perfect question. He asks, how long have you worked in this job? Present perfect. How long have you worked in this job? The answer should have been something like, I have worked in this job for 5 years. I have worked in this job since 2020. Abulaji answers in simple past. I started back in 2018. And he explains a little bit about that. It's okay, but if they ask in present perfect, they want a present perfect answer. So let's say you're a teacher. How long have you worked as a teacher? I have worked as a teacher since 2020. I have worked as a teacher for 5 years. It's one of those 2 answers. Stephen still wants to hear present perfect. He asks another question. Has the job changed very much? And this time Abulaji gets it. He does say, yes, the job has changed. And then he starts to explain how it has changed. So there's our present perfect. Stephen asks him, what do you like about the job? Why do you like it? So it's 2 questions that are basically the same question, and it's a giving reasons question. So we know Abulaji likes his job. So Stephen asks him why. Why do you like your job? And he gives reasons. Abulaji had a point here, tasks I do in my job. Stephen asks him, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? And Abulaji explains how he supports people when they come home after hospital. And maybe they do some exercises, they do something with their daily lives. And he talks about how it's always different. Sometimes the people come home after illness, sometimes it's accident. It's different people, different ages, and that's what he likes about his job. Abulaji mentions my future plans. And he wants to be a physiotherapist in the future. The examiner asks, what will you do to realize your future plans? Will you take qualifications? And he explains, I will take this course, I will take this course, I will take that course. I have completed these courses already. So that's our future question. Then the examiner asks, how long will it take? When will you be able to start as a physiotherapist? Again, it's the same question in 2 different ways. And it's a quantifying question. How long? How long will it take? So we're looking for an answer like 2 months, 2 years, 10 years. How long will it take? I wanted to mention here B1 vocabulary. The student uses lots of words here that are really nice words. Rehabilitation, support, discharge, hospital, apprenticeship, trust, like the hospital trust, physiotherapy, physiotherapist. In your jobs, sometimes you have words that you might think they're nothing special. You say these words every day. However, these are good words. These are specialized words. They're B1 plus words. So use these words. Use words that in your job that are specialized words. So for my third point, I want to talk about how would I change this form? If this was me today and I was writing this form, it's pretty good form. He uses my current job. Trinity likes career job. So it's a perfect topic. And his subtopics are pretty good. He passes the exam with an A. I would change this a little bit. I think there's some better ways to do this one, benefits of my job, and tasks I do in my job. I would change these two a little bit. I would make a present perfect point because we know the examiner will ask us present perfect question. Examples are how my job has changed, what I have learned in my job, or qualifications I have recently done. So the first two are the changes over time. So the examiner asked him, what has changed in your job, or has your job changed a lot? That's change over time. You can also use something recently, lately. So that's why I have qualifications I have done recently. Anytime we use recently or lately, those are present perfect words. Either change over time or recently works for present perfect. We just need a present perfect point because then that will drive the examiner to use those words to ask us, how has your job changed? What have you learned in your job? What qualifications have you recently done? For past tense, the student used I started back in 2018. You could use that. Or you could make a point, my previous job. Something in the past. It doesn't matter what you use, but something simple past. For reasons, the student used I really like my job so much. You could also use something like why I like my job. I like to start with why. Or the best things about my job is also good because you want to talk about things that you like. Or preferences. So the student had tasks I do in my job, and he was asked about the tasks. I would make it clear and call it tasks I prefer to do in my job. Or you could start with why. Why I prefer this job to my previous job. Or why I prefer to work on my own, or with a team, or with children, or with adults. Something you can talk about preferences. And with future, the student used my future plans. You can use that. And you could also get more specific, my future studies, or my next future role. Something that you could talk about your training, your plans, what you're studying in the future to do this. Any of those work. Overall, my job is a great topic to choose. Here are examples of how you can do it. That was my job or my career as a Trinity B1 my topic example. Anyone can use this topic. Trinity recommends career and job as one of the options, so I definitely recommend it. You can use it no matter what your job is. Sometimes people say, oh, I'm only a housewife. Oh, I'm only a cleaner. It doesn't matter. Anyone, any job can use this topic form, even if it's not a job outside your home. If you are a housewife, or maybe you're a student, you can also treat this like my job. Or if you're a volunteer, it's not a paid job. It doesn't matter. It's still like a job. So I do recommend this. It's a great topic. Keep studying, keep learning English.